What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and for today's video is another run on Skylords Reborn, and I'll be playing the Insane God map on expert difficulty by using a pure nature deck. And I'll also be showing you all kinds of mistakes that you can make on my gameplay alone. Yeah, so my gameplay is a little bit tougher than it should be, but if you follow my tips you can win this map quite easily, and I'm just gonna go straight into it. This is my deck, and let's start my replay. Alright, so in the beginning you have to summon two world beasts, and the two world beasts will run past this little camp because you don't need to kill these Twilight Claws to reach the next camp. So make sure to summon 3 world beasts when you got enough power to eliminate the archers. As you can see, the first archer I eliminated were the Twilight Slayers because they deal more damage, followed by the Twilight Archers. So once the archers are killed, destroy the manifestation base and get a power well. And from that, go straight to your next base and kill off the archers again. The first part of this run is very simple, where you just have world beasts to clear off all the enemy bases and collect all the power wells. The tougher part will be later on when you defend your main base right in the middle of the map. And I'm going to show you how easy it is you can defend your base. So let's just speed right through the beginning. It's very straightforward, there's nothing much to explain about. Yeah, so once your world beast kind of take down the camp and collected all the power wells, send your world beast to the middle of camp. And what you don't want to do first is to send one of your world beasts to the middle, because it will activate the next objective and you would have lesser time to defend your base against the Urzach Guardians, which are very strong little insects. Yeah, so once you get to the main base, collect all the power wells first, followed by that take the monument. And what I did first was to build root nexus, the green and blue affinity, so that my living towers over here will regenerate their health and take less damage. Also build your walls here, and what you can do next is that in a normal run you quickly get your tier 2 orb and straight away try to capture this base to get your tier 3, but I will be showing you a couple of mistakes along the way which makes my life much more difficult. But if you can avoid these mistakes, it'll be quite smooth sailing, and just follow whatever tips that I'll be showing you on how you can defend your central base. So once your monument is built, the correct way to quickly capture this base is to summon a parasite swamp, and also have a ground unit to accompany you. It can be Urzach Seeker, or you can summon another world beast, or can take a world beast from this area that is defending the other temple, but you don't have to defend the temple. So when you got your parasite swamp and your ground unit, what you need to do is come to the base here and use a parasite swamp to swap with the Twilight Devastator. But over here you can see a mistake that I will make, and it's very common to forget that you have some CC spells in your deck. And basically what happened here was that my parasite swamp got knocked back by the Twilight Hack, so this kind of resets my ability to capture the Twilight Devastator. And what you should be doing is to use your Curse of Oink to oink this army, and your parasite swamp will not have any trouble swapping with the unit, and you can get along with your day to attack the Twilight Hacks and also take down the Twilight manifestation base over here. So that is what you should be doing. And after capturing this base and getting up like 1 power well, your next objective is to summon as many spike roots as possible to defend your base, and also make sure to have your root nexus right in the middle of your power wells and monuments to assist you in healing and defending your spike root. The first attack is always the toughest because you have fewer power to play with and you don't really have a lot of spike roots, but later on as you progress into the game, it'll be easier to defend until about the 13th to 15th mark, where you'll be encountering Twilight Dragons that will be spawning from the bottom left base and attacking your central camp. So the main point over here is to capture your 4th monument right at the bottom before the Twilight Dragon spawns and attack your main base. Right, so let's take a look how I'm defending my base. And what I did was to just attract some of these like Twilight units to prevent my living towers from getting destroyed. And yep, make sure you use your Seeker to distract as many Twilight units, because you won't really be using your Seeker and transforming it into a Guardian. And in total, there are 3 Guardians that you'll be facing, one on the right, one at the top, and one at the bottom here. Once your camp is done, assuming that you have captured your 3rd monument base, this is the best opportunity for you to get straight down and get your 4th orb. Yep, so I've captured the Twilight Devastator, and make sure I take down the base and get my power wells. Another thing to note is that because your Twilight Devastator is not considered a ground unit presence, you have to send like your world beast over here to get your power wells and monument. Once you kind of get your tier 3, you should be building up your razor leaves to give you better attack, and also building more living towers around, because a root network will be powerful if you have more buildings or more living towers hanging around doing nothing, because this will give your units, your root network units, much more attack power, and you can bring down Twilight units much more quickly. So once you kind of get your defenses up, about this point you should be getting your tier 4 monument already. The game that I'm showing you right now is the worst possible scenario, and you should not be probably like reaching this stage where the Twilight Dragon comes and you will not have your tier 4 units up, and also your defenses are not 100% ready as shown. But as you can see, my units and my towers are kind of like repelling the Twilight units. Of course, I have to kind of like do something about the Twilight Dancers, which I use the Creeping Paralysis on it. Yeah, so when the first Twilight Dragon wave attack as seen just now, the defense should be up, and you should have a lot of your living towers, your razor leaf, at least 2 razor leaves up to repel the Twilight attacks. And also build living towers all around your base. This will give your root network units more power again. So I'm just going to skip to the part where I obtain my tier 4. So I send my spike roots, but what I can do is to send your drones to attack too, because your spike roots or root network units will be busy defending your base. So I recommend not sending too many of your spike roots out, maximum 3 would do. And once you got tier 4, summon all your giant Rymph to destroy this base, take down this base, and also the central base. Yep, so your final defenses should look something like this, with a little bit more spike roots. And the Silver Gate will help you a lot, because the Red Affinity 1 buffs your units and give them 25% more damage, and this will help aid you in killing these Twilight Dragons or some of the annoying units right here. And yeah, as you can see, the Razor Leaf has been buffed pretty well, and the Twilight Dragons took quite a bit of damage. But what you can do is to micro your Razor Leaf to attack the Twilight Dragons first, because it deals the most damage. Yep, and this is how you kind of defend your base. And once the main attack is done, you should focus on attacking the enemy base. And why I have a single ground unit here is because of this like Waft Gazer or Evil Eye that will kind of like disable one of your giant Rymph, and you should use Curse of Oink on it so that your giant Rymph will all be ready to fight, all 4 of them. And also make sure to target the Twilight Whisperer, because it's the only unit that can stop your giant Rymph from attacking the Twilight units. So you just want to make sure that you do that, target the Twilight Whisperer, Curse of Oink on the Evil Eye, and you should be taking down this base fairly easily. And yeah, I've got my Time Shifter Spirit, and what I want for this is to heal my giant Rymph and not spend too many power on Surge of Light or even Regrowth. Later in the game, you should also build Healing Gardens when you're closer to the end of the games, because these Healing Gardens really grants you a lot of recovery, your regrowth will be extra powerful and can heal you all of your giant range. Right, so what I do now is to take down the base, make sure to heal units. Sadly, one of my dragons died. And always make sure you have a time shifter spirit and ground presence, because the army here can be quite annoying over here on the left, and you might want to use your CC spells to prevent them from interrupting your attack on Urzach. One of my tip here is that once you kind of like repel a strong Twilight Wave, you should go ahead and destroy Urzach, because you know that your base will be pretty safe and you can focus all of your energy and concentration on attacking Urzach and win this game. Yeah, so take down the Twilight Whisperer first and separate your units to take down the Wheel Zapper, because it paralyzes your units like forever. And lure Urzach out. Take down the Twilight Whisperer again. Make sure it's far away from the Flash Bender so that it doesn't regenerate its health, and focus all of your attack on Urzach while making sure that you CC all these like Waft Gazers and Evil Eye. And regrowth, revenge to prevent enemy attacks from getting into your giant wave. And this is how you win the Insane God on expert difficulty by using a pure nature deck. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys again real soon.